Hello, it is December the 2nd, 2018, and we got some new Q, and I tell you what, stuff is getting ready to happen in the countdown to D5. I've got a real good analysis at the end of this report on D5. First, I'm going to get into these Q posts. I'd like to thank everyone for being here. If you're new, you're going to have a good time. Please like, share, post, do all the things that you like to do. Longtime subscribers, you guys know I love you. Don't forget I'm on BitChute, Facebook, and Twitter. I love my Facebook followers. You guys keep me posted and up to date. Right now I'm getting comfy with a hot cup of cafe. I'd like y'all to join me. We'll get started in these latest Q posts. First post, 2523. Starts out, Q gives us an image of an old post, 2299, from September 2018. It says, Red October, Justice K confirmation, DECLAS. We were promised declassification and it's coming. It's coming on D5, I believe. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Payment in full. And I think that's why he posted that here for us today, because it's coming on D5. For those of you who say nothing's happening, well, I'll tell you what, this week stuff is going to hit the fan. Then there's a link to an old CBS article about Jeff Flake when he made that crazy decision to stick with the Democrats. Flake's decision came after he spoke to senators from both parties and withstood pressure from some Republicans not to take such a step. As he considered his course of action, Flake also had a conversation with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. Well, what do you think Rod's going to recommend? Who is in charge of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation? Define treason. Now here it's going to ask us again in a minute for the definition of treason, but here it is. The crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. Define subversion. The act of subverting, the state of being subverted, especially a systematic attempt to overthrow or undermine a government or political system by persons working secretly from within. That is subversion. Think line of questions, R.E. Senator Graham to Justice Kavanaugh, where Senator Graham asked him a series of questions about enemy combatants and about military law. Military tribunals are coming. D5 is almost here. Here's that conversation that Senator Graham and Kavanaugh had.
We were watching as the standing with her when the buildings fell.
So when somebody says post 9/11 that we've been at war and it's called the war on terrorism, do you generally agree with that concept?
I do, Senator, because Congress passed the authorization for use of military force, which is still in effect, and that was passed, of course, on September 14th, 2001, 3 days later.
Let's talk about the law in war. Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict?
There is such a body, Senator.
Is there a body of law that's called basic criminal law?
Yes, Senator.
Are there differences between those two bodies of law?
Yes, Senator.
From an American citizen's point of view, do your constitutional rights follow you? If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government?
From your own government, yes.
Okay. So if you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government?
If you're an American in Afghanistan, you have constitutional rights as against the U.S. government.
Is there a long-standing...
That's long settled law.
Isn't there also a long settled law that It goes back to the Eisenstrater case. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, Johnson versus Eisentrager.
Right. That American citizens who collaborate with the enemy have considered enemy combatants.
They can be. They can be. They're sometimes criminally prosecuted, sometimes treated in the military.
Well, let's talk about can be. I think
under Supreme Court precedent.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a Supreme Court decision that said that American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I think a couple of them were executed.
Yeah.
So if anybody doubts, there's a long-standing history in this country that your constitutional rights follow you wherever you go, but you don't have a constitutional right to turn on your own government, collaborate with the enemy of the nation. You'll be treated differently. What's the name of the case, if you can recall, that reaffirmed the concept that you could hold one of our own as an enemy combatant if they were engaged in terrorist activities in Afghanistan? Are you familiar with that case?
Yeah, Hamdi.
Okay. So the bottom line is, I want every American citizen to know you have constitutional rights, but you do not have a constitutional right to collaborate with the enemy. There's a body of law well developed long before 9/11 that understood the difference between basic criminal law and the law of armed conflict. Do you understand those differences?
I do understand that they're different bodies of law, of course, Senator.
Okay, if you're confirmed, and I believe you will be, what is your hope when all of this is said and done and your time is up? How would you like to be remembered?
A good dad, good judge.
Good husband.
I think he's getting there.
Good husband.
Thanks, Diane. You helped.
Lindsey Graham asked those specific questions because he wanted to make it perfectly clear to Congress and to the American people that we are at war. So let that sink in for just a minute. We are presently at war. We have been since 2001. Now, Q finishes that post off with a tweet from President Trump on September the 5th, 2018, and all he says is treason. So he wanted people to know treason. There are people committing treason in this country. Then he gives us a link to an endmilitarism.org PDF, Detention of U.S. Citizens. I'll leave a link. I'm not going to read it. It's a 13-page document, but it talks about detention of U.S. citizens and how that is done legally. So Q wants to make sure that everyone's familiar with these documents. Then he goes on to say, they are unlawful enemy combatants. Questioning Graham to Kavanaugh, RE enemy combatants. Is that unusual? Yes, it is. Define treason. He gave us the definition of treason. Back here, the crime of betraying one's country, especially by attempting to kill the sovereign or overthrow the government. And there was a plot, and it is going to come out in the declassification. There was a plot to kill President Trump. There have been numerous attempts made on his life. Treason. Now, executive order effective 1/1/19. Now this is executive order. This is the executive order for the manual for courts martial. There were some changes made to this that are effective January the 1st, 2019. The Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel, opinion reference the detaining of U.S. citizens, reference enemy combatants. Drops combined paint a full picture. Do you believe in coincidences? No. This was planned. This has been done. May God bless those who fight to defend our great nation, we the people. Signed, Q. Q is military intelligence, leaving us information so that we will be informed as to what's going to happen. The news media is not going to cover this stuff. The mainstream media will not cover this. They will call it a LARP. They will say that it's a conspiracy theory. Well, it is not, and it is coming, and it's coming real soon. Post number 2524. An Anon put together this nice meme with lots of information on it. Q linked to it. And if you really take a look at this, he says Rosenstein is no longer in charge of the Mueller probe. Rosenstein no longer overseeing Russian probe. The Daily Caller says acting AG Whitaker to take authority on the Mueller probe from Rosenstein. The Wall Street Journal reported the same thing. CNBC reported the same thing. Now, they reported this stuff November the 7th. But I want you to take a look at what Q did. Q took this same information, post number 2109, back in September, 2 months before the newspapers started reporting it. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. September 17th, post 2196. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Goodbye, Mr. Mueller. Patriots in control. Post 2210, September 18th. Still 2 months before the papers started reporting it. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Papers were reporting on declassifying. Fox was anyway. Nobody else was. September 21st. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Post number 2286. September 27th. Justice K. confirmation. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Red October. And then here in November, before Sessions left. Thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Jeff Sessions. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. Q+, that was from the President. November the 7th. So that's the information we're getting from Q, way ahead of the mainstream media. Q is not a LARP. The press cannot continue to say that Q is a conspiracy theory. They're wrong. And here's a post from an Anon in October of 2017. Open your eyes. It finally came out that Rod/Bob were key players in the uranium scandal. Rod and Bob. Do you think POTUS would be tweeting about removal given clear conflict? Why did POTUS meet with Bob under the cover of FBI director interview? Bob is unable to serve as director per law. Gowdy comments on Comey. POTUS has everything. Not everyone is corrupt. Fewer than you think. Follow Huma. Operation Mockingbird. Lots of different stuff here. Post 2512. November the 30th. Mueller removed via DECLAS. 2 months ago. Mueller will face charges, RE Uranium-1. He is working to save himself, Q. So, Mueller is going to face charges once this declassification comes out on December the 5th or 6th. That's what we're looking at. To all those who doubted Sessions and Huber, you will all pay a price very soon. One of his last posts here. These were all posts from yesterday. Well, not all of these. Trust Sessions, trust Ray, trust Kansas, trust Horowitz, trust Huber. That was in April. Huber has everything. Sessions and Huber weekend meetings. Why would they be meeting on the weekends? This was in September. Things have been going on all this time. You guys, now I know I don't have many of you, but a few have been saying nothing's happening. Well, something's happening. Trust me, something's happening, something's been happening. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. It's coming. It's coming on December the 5th. I'm confused. Yes, I'm not. I'm not confused. So there's lots of good information in this meme, and I'll leave a link to it back on 8chan. I'll leave a link so that you can go back to 8chan and take a look at it. I'll post it on my Facebook page. I'll put it on my Twitter page. You guys can look for it and find it. Okay, we'll finish up post 2524. Think multiple meanings, goodbye. Multiple meanings of goodbye. Think multiple meanings. Fired and or removed from the DOJ. Removed from special counsel oversight. 2 completed, 1 coming. Learn our comms. Well, Rosenstein's been removed. 1 more coming. Maybe Whitaker. Next post, 2525. Links us back to 2524. It says, goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Removal from special counsel oversight. Did RR feel safe? Air Force One 30-minute meeting with POTUS. Did he feel safe? Was he worried about being fired? Did RR communicate meeting back to handlers? Well, I'm sure he probably did. When your enemy feels in control, panic, R.E. Whitaker. Panic, R.E. Huber. Rosenstein must not have felt safe. He must have been panicked. He must have been panicked because of Whitaker. He must have been panicked because of Huber. Why has the FISA court kept quiet? R.E. discovery of fraud. I think because they're involved, clear up to their top of their head. Perpetrated on the courts? When an operation is active, these people are stupid. We're going to learn a lot here once this stuff's declassified. The world's going to be real surprised. Post 2526. We've got a link to a Twitter page. A world united is a beautiful thing. People are inherently good. We stand together. Q. And people are inherently good. Look at this post. Meanwhile in Berlin. Hashtag QAnon. Hashtag where we go one, we go all. Hashtag worldwide. Q. These guys love Q. A world united is a beautiful thing. Where we go one, we go all. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I like that one. Q everywhere. Trump Army. Trump Army now. We are all over. We really are. We're all over. There's a good one. I like that one. Five Eyes, Spies and Lies. We stand together, Q, and we do. This is a worldwide movement. Everybody loves Q. Post number 2527. What happened to 11/11 Unified American Day? You disgusting liar fraud. Answer, Freddie, you effing faggot. So Q links to that. He says, think waves, worldwide, define unified, 17. Think waves, it happens in waves. Saturday knockout forces, new class, tech, online by who? Controlled, moment, activated, 17. Do you believe in coincidence? Do you believe your efforts here persuade people to stop the pursuit of truth? CA, California, J. I don't know, CA_J. There is a place for everyone, Q. Post 2528. Power belongs to the people. You are what matters. All you needed was a spark to unite together. They are scared, and all we did need was a spark to get together like this. Think fake news attacks, second only to POTUS himself. Q is second only to the president. Q gets more news coverage than anyone else on the planet besides the president. So first there's the president, then there's Q. And we are Q. Together we win. Trust yourself. Think for yourself. You are not alone. Open your heart and your mind. Where we go one, we go all. Q. Band together. Let's do this. This is an awesome thing that we're doing. Second only to the president. Q has given us a huge platform. And we need to take advantage of it. Now, I didn't even get into what I really wanted to talk about. D5. That last set of posts was about D5, and I'm going to play you a short video that X.III put together. If you haven't heard him, I'll leave a link to his page so you can go listen to him. But he's another good Q reporter. Anyway, I'm going to play that for you, and then I'll get back on here and say goodbye.
Hi guys, Sunday 2nd of December, just going on 1:45 in the afternoon on the east coast of Australia where I am, and it's just going on 10:45 in the evening of the 1st of December on the east coast of the United States. And look, I know I posted a new video today and there have been no new posts by Q, but it's a lousy day here. I'm not going to be doing much else, and I was sitting here thinking about the sequence of events that has happened recently, particularly in relation to Bush's death and D5. And I came up with a theory. I'm just going to share it with you. It's an opinion piece. If you're not interested in somebody else's opinion, you can switch off now. But I'm really looking for any flaws in my argument here, because a lot of people thinking the same way I'm feeling. So the story starts back on the 14th of November when James Comey sent out this tweet. Our dog, Benji, died this afternoon. Because he was a rescue, we didn't know his age today, except very old. He was a friend to an entire big family, as only a dog can be. Goodbye, old soul. And a lot of speculation that this is the day that Bush actually died, the 14th of November. Now, interestingly, Q, his last post on the 13th of November, you might remember, 53:47, and he didn't come back online until the 21st of November. 8 days, basically. So, that leads me to speculate that maybe there's some truth to the fact that Bush had died and they were planning things. And the very first thing he comes on and says, December 5, D5, nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. So he may have known at this point that a state funeral would be held on December the 5th. And nothing's going to stop that. Nothing. And then he starts talking about attacks on Whitaker only intensifying because things were going to happen. No doubt this is a message to the deep state as well, because they'd be trying to interpret everything just as we are, the Q says. And subsequent posts by Q contained often panic in DC. Panic in DC. Think D5, and they're starting to get nervous. And I'm wondering if they're getting nervous because they know that's their last day. They'll all attend the funeral and possibly, probably, I don't know, be arrested as the funeral finishes. It's certainly the mainstream media wouldn't be able to ignore that and then ask why. And I think the why will be because a declassification is coming. And even though the media ignores the declassification, they won't be able to ignore the arrest, and then people will start looking for themselves as to what's actually going on. And just looking at the most recent posts here, I think the sequence of events is this. John Solomon went on Hannity and told the world, basically, well, certainly America, that HUBER was getting involved in the Clinton Foundation investigation. We'll just have a quick listen.
I'll give you some breaking news right now, Sean. Just 2 hours ago, federal prosecutors assigned to John Huber, the U.S. attorney investigating the Clintons, reached out to a whistleblower in the Clinton Foundation. The first time we've seen contact between a Clinton Foundation whistleblower and that particular federal office. That just happened tonight.
Are you talking about the one whose home was raided?
No, this is a different whistleblower that you might learn. You'll learn a lot more about on Monday, I bet you.
All right, we'll learn that on Monday. Sarah, last word. What is it?
I
Give
just
us
say we have to keep
of
our
Monday's
eyes.
coming attraction.
I think we've got a lot to look forward to on Monday, Sean, and I think that the American people are going to see that there was happening behind the scenes at the FBI as well as the Department of Justice, and Michael Horowitz have been doing a very deep dive into this, and there's going to be a lot of breaking news in the next month and the months to come. Okay, so you see for there, Huber making that announcement on Hannity. And then immediately after, let's go to this site here. At 9:27 Eastern Standard Time, Q went on to the HNQ Research Board and basically said to the person who leaked Huber about the Clinton Foundation, and I've got a pretty good feeling that's John Solomon, whistleblower, do not reveal more. Monday. And I think clearly that's confirmation that Monday is planned, and this is a direct message to John Solomon. And then he follows that up with, to all those who doubted Sessions and Huber, you will all pay the price very soon. And then first and only leak public re-Huber activities. So whoever told John Solomon, I think, might be in trouble.
No further details should be released. Warning, pain coming. And then we get the message from the 3rd of September that talks about HUBER and Sessions and all the things the experts were saying might happen or might not happen. And Q was clearly saying, well, you don't know anything. Then Q basically tells us for the first time that Mueller is a black hat. Mueller will face charges regarding uranium-1, and that's for my school teacher that keeps pointing out I say instead of regarding for whatever reason they want to pick me up on that. He's working to save himself. We saw this Anon's transcript of that Hannity session, and Q simply says, future will prove the past, history books, justice, enjoy the show. And finally, Q tells us that Bush, codename Timberwolf, and he shares a common ancestry with the domestic dog. State funeral next week. Coincidence? And I think not. I think it was planned right from the beginning, and that's from the very time, the 21st of November, when he told us that nothing could stop it coming now. Nothing. And so it's all on its way, people. I hope I'm right. If you find any flaws in this argument, please leave a comment. Cheers.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, I agree completely with what he said. I'm just thinking about how awesome it would be to be watching that state funeral and see the military come in and start arresting people. That's all. So I hope that's what happens. I'm praying for it. God bless you guys. I love you all. God bless our president, Donald Trump, for what he's doing to help drain the swamp. God bless the United States of America. And God bless our Q. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.